As an international speaker and owner of a communications training company, I've had the privilege of working with all types of businesses, everybody from sole traders to large international organizations. Regardless of the size of the business, the first question that I ask is, why are you in business? I get many varied and wonderful responses. But when we get down to the bones of it, your business exists to make a profit for you and potentially your business partners. Now, while the services and products that you offer may vary, the reality is that the way you earn your client's business is by delivering value. The problem comes in with the word value. It has come to mean so many different things to different people and different businesses that it makes it increasingly difficult for us to identify exactly what is valuable to our clients and help us understand how we can deliver on their expectations. The number one way in which you can make a profit for your business is by meeting your customers' expectations of value. And in so doing, you help your customers achieve what matters most to them. So I'm sure you'd agree it's worth finding out just what our customers mean when they say value. When a client sets out on a transaction, they have an expectation. And at the end of that transaction, they've had some sort of experience. Now, the gap between these two, the expectation and the experience, is what we call the value gap. I'd like you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, as a customer, do you expect more now than you did 10 years ago? Most of us would agree that we expect more. In fact, we expect a lot more. Now, think about your business. Is the gap between what your customers expect and what they're experiencing, is that gap growing? Or is it getting smaller in your business? Because today I have both good news and bad news. Firstly, your number one priority from a sales, marketing, and branding perspective is to close the gap between what your clients expect and what they actually experience. Now, of course, operations and finance has to find a way to do this while keeping the costs down. But a failure to do this is going to result in the loss of customers. You see, for the most part, not a lot has changed in business between the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. We would buy a thing, and if this thing did its job, we were happy. It was a time when buying complicated and extended warranties and guarantees was normal. Do you remember when Panasonic was on the quest for zero defect? Do you still want to buy appliances today from a company that's on a quest? We didn't trust goods that were made in China. Access to price comparisons took a lot of time for a buyer. Well, with the introduction of the internet, that changed very quickly. Of course, as customers, we gained access to price comparisons online. We knew what other customers were saying about products and services. Faults were easily reported and made widely public. And the beloved client referral gained even more value as we learned to trust what our peers were saying more than what the company's website was saying. And certainly we trusted what customers were saying more than we trusted the salesperson. And then, of course, as we moved to digital, we moved from buying a thing, a device, a TV or a screen, to buying a solution. Let me give you an example of what I mean. If you think about the iPod. Now, Apple fanatics, I know you're crazy about your products, but just go with me here. An iPod really is nothing more than an MP3 player. That would be a thing. But with the internet, it became a solution. And what we were buying was not only the MP3 player, but the ability to access music online, customized to our choice, not having to buy the whole album, but select songs. And we could do this at the click of a button on our mobile device. And with this, we moved from buying an MP3 player as a thing or a device to buying an integrated solution. It was how this device fitted together with access to the music and, of course, our mobile devices. Now, clients' expectations have shifted again. This time, from wanting a thing or a solution to expecting a full-blown experience. When I tell you that customers expect an experience, I'm not talking about experiential marketing, test drives, and virtual reality. I'm talking about an end-to-end experience with your business. no matter how big or small you may be. So let me give you an analogy. If you think of the 70s, 80s, and 90s as us purchasing a thing, it would be one sticky note, one little block. Then we moved to purchasing a solution. And if you could imagine a series of sticky notes all interconnected together. The experience then would be a Rubik's Cube. And every block on that Rubik's Cube represents a point where your client interacts with your business. Each block is a point of potential friction or motion. What I mean by that is, every time a customer interacts with any aspect of your business, you are either making it easier and easier for them to transact with you, and therefore increasingly attractive, or you're making it more frustrating and disappointing, and therefore less attractive to do business with you. Now, I'll admit, I've never been able to solve a Rubik's Cube on my own. With some help from YouTube, I was able to do it, but that doesn't really count. I used to get one side, all one color, and I could never get any further than that. Now, the smart people out there who actually have solved a Rubik's Cube will tell you that it doesn't work that way. You need to work it from the corners in. You see, as soon as you get one side, all one color, if you look around the corners, everything's out of whack. Now, this is at times our approach to business. We work on sales training or product development. We might revamp our reception area, put up nice new signage. Working on one side of the business that the customers see. But behind the scenes, the cubes are out of alignment. In today's transparent and competitive market, working on one side of your business is simply not enough. We need to come to a place where we understand that every part of our business is critical to an improved client experience.